So I'll share some love letters as well, but I just want to
Oh,
say they're not so much love letters as they are like really interesting journeys that people have had, and they're sharing that in the process of also saying like, yeah, like, your videos are really helpful. But I just want to highlight some because there's a couple of really interesting stories. This one came through today. So if you are seeing this and you've sent me this message and I haven't responded, I'm really sorry. I will respond literally as soon as the stream is done, like the next couple of days. But I have read them and they really, really did touch me. And thank you so much for sending me them.
even my ones, when I call them love letters, they're not necessarily love letters as in like they left Islam because of me. It's just a journey where they can share that with us. I think that is very important as well. For example, when people say, because of you, I've also received letters where people said that, oh, I found out Ghalib Kamal through you, but I like him more than I like you. And I listen to him more, which is more power to you. So, and some people sometimes they just share their feelings, how they're feeling, and I
Yeah.
give them as much advice as I can because I think they're not alone. That's the key
I
part to
think
tell
people
them.
understand, like whether it's you, Ghalib, anybody, everyone, but just a means to an end. It is a journey, and you're discovered on the way, and it leads them to hopefully, usually a beautiful end. And like that's why it was so encouraging to see in that message of yours when that person said, "I've gotten like new ambitions and dreams for life, and it's bigger and beyond something that that person could have in that when their life was engulfed by religion." And I love that when you come out the other end and you see life for everything that it is, and you realize your potential. So yeah, just going to share this story with you guys. I actually got this message today. So she says, I just want to take time out of my day and write you this message. My English isn't the best, so I apologize in advance. But a few days ago, I found your channel from AP, and I just want to thank you as an ex Muslim woman who is speaking out about Islam and is teaching the truth. I'm 18 years old and I live in America, born and raised, and I'm struggling with Islam for years. It all started when I was 9 to 10. My mother was like, "You're a woman now, it's time to wear the hijab." And I didn't want to. I cried and begged, but she just said that every other girl is wearing it, so what makes you any different? And my parents then
Yeah,
forced, worldly
just
listening, forced me to school wearing the holy fabric of oppression. Wow, I love that. And I was crying so hard, but my dad made me stop, and I had to force myself to because I've always been scared of my parents. After that, he just walked me into my class like nothing happened, and I didn't even want to look at anyone or talk to anyone. That whole day at recess, I was hiding my hijab with my hoodie because I was hurt and just wanted to be like the other girls. I was still young and had my whole childhood ahead of me, but no. Then after school, my dad picked me up and asked me how it was. I said I hid my hijab with my hood, and he lectured me and said, "This is who you are, don't be ashamed of it." Blah, 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 typical bullshit. And I don't know why those words made me so angry because it's not who I am. I'm very girly and love doing hairstyles, and I feel so ugly having to hide my hair. It's like what makes me feel beautiful and better about myself. As a child, I did believe in Allah, but after that whole hijab thing, I started to have doubts at only 9 or 10. Wow, smart girl. Why is it only women who cover? It just got my blood boiling. I never thought of taking my hijab off because, like I said, I was scared of my parents and was scared my teacher or something would snitch to them about it. So I just didn't take that risk, even though I wanted to. So after I got my period at age 11, I believe that's when I started to be more open and voice that I didn't want to wear the hijab. And my mom was like all mad saying, "Why are you saying this? We need to take you to a sheikh or imam to read the Quran on your brain. You have been possessed." Or this is what the internet has been teaching you, and would guilt trip and emotionally abuse me into agreeing with her. I fought with her about this situation till I turned 15, then gave up because I realized it's not going anywhere. So maybe I should study Islam and try to accept it because I have no other choice. I come from a very strict Yemeni family, and some things the sheikhs or imams would say would piss me off here and there, but I brushed it off. Then I started watching David Wood, AP, and recently yours, and just thought, wow, it's crazy how much sheikhs and imams are able to hide from us. The things I learned from these channels. The thing is, I've always had a doubt in the back of my mind about Islam. I just didn't know what it was, and I couldn't figure out what arguments to use until I found all of your channels. And it's awful how these sheikhs and imams, the people who are supposed to teach the religion, keep so much hidden and praise Islam and tell you things you want to hear, and there so you don't leave the religion. I know if I explain this to my family and show them your videos, they will never believe me and say I'm just brainwashed by the media, which is what every Muslim who I argue with online says. I'm not dumb enough to fight Muslims I know in real life, lol. Life is very hard still, even though I'm 18 and you'd think I'm free and can move out, but no. My parents homeschooled me after sixth grade because they were scared I'll date, talk to boys, and they say that Americans are bad influences and that I should befriend Muslims. As he said, the wolves hang with wolves and sheep hang with sheep, which is racist. They manipulate me to saying things like, no one will ever love you like us. We are your parents, blah, blah, blah. And it hurts me because my online friends have been there for me more than my family ever has. I asked my mom if I can get a job and move out since I'm 18 now, and she started to lecture me saying, why do I want to run away? And I'm a girl, I'm not supposed to live alone. And if I want to move out, I have to get married. But I don't want to get forced into sex and have children I don't even want to keep. I still feel like a child. I'm not mentally stable enough for a child. I'm scared to waste my youth on a religion and a family like this. I want happiness and peace in my life, and I cry myself to sleep every night over how Islam ruined my life. So thank you for your activism, and I'm sorry for writing so much, but I really want to thank you for confirming my doubts on Islam. You're amazing. So that was a lot in that story, a lot, and I think I need to like really, really unpack it when I respond to this insanely strong like woman at 18 and to have doubts at 9. But I just wanted to bring this up because again, when we're talking about hijab lately so much, as I said, like every situation is so different and unique. And the fact that nobody's forced to, I mean, it's right here. The poor girl put her hoodie on all day in class because that's how much she hated like the hijab, and there was no element of choice in it. You can see from her own words.
People take it very trivially that so what? It's just like I'm obviously not Western people, but even within the Muslim community, they feel like, okay, so what? You're just covering your hair. And people who know in Islam, and it seemed like it really hit her, the fact that she said, I feel like girly. I feel like expressing myself. To be honest, as a guy though, I could think that, but okay, even if you wear a hijab, you can beautify that as well. And we've seen some really hotted up pictures where girls do this and they wear but it's not about that. It's about expressing yourself and the absence of choice that they talk about so much, that it's not forced. It is always forced. It's like it's like breaking an animal, isn't it? It's like initially you have an animal who's free and wild, but then you break it. This is that's the mentality behind it, that okay, now you have accepted it, that this is the right way to go about. You have to wear a hijab. Now we've broken you, and now you can defend. Now you can defend this cage around you and say, oh, it's so beautiful, etc. So that's the trick behind it. That's the evil genius part behind it. That these girls who even tell us, oh, it's my choice. Not really. Because when it was imposed on you, in most cases, it wasn't your choice. I mean, I know you wore it yourself. None of your family members said that you need to wear it. And I think none of your siblings wore it either. But you wore it, you decided to wear it, but look how that turned out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really is a very evil symbol, isn't it? Like, I mean, this girl
is a leash. There's no two ways about it. It is a leash.
This young woman is only 18, and it's quite clear in her message how it has impacted her, and how, you know, she just doesn't want it, but and is creating this the more of these negative emotions that are probably not going to be good for anyone.
Yeah, exactly. And then it takes years to recover from that. And again, this is just hindering somebody who she's got a mind of her own, and she's very what's like seems to be so comfortable and secure in her own femininity and expression and just individualism. And Islam and the hijab at this young age just snatches that away from you completely, and you can really see her struggling with that. But yeah, so that was a really kind of incredible life journey. And again, this is tied to so much as well. Well, obviously, it, like when you see women who speak out like this, you need to, like, the only thing that can get them out of a situation like this is financial independence, which is why it's so important. Which is why I always say Christopher Hitchens, when he says women take charge of their education and reproductivity, then your life is your own. You can live it on your own terms. You can get away from these toxic situations, but you've got to break out and try and find ways where you can study and be able to earn money and then live your life on your own terms. When she says, I don't want to lose any more of my life to this religion, like that hits deep. And that's very true, because you've wasted your youth now to Islam and Islamic values and principles that you couldn't care for and you don't believe in. So that's, and again, and my situation was so weird. I actually believed in what I was doing. Thankfully, I came to my senses soon enough, and my family helped.
It's a very good quote. I mean, it's quote worthy, it's meme worthy quote. It said, the worst prison is the one that we are taught to impose on ourselves.
Yeah.
And hijab is the clear example. This, it's a social sanctioned Stockholm syndrome, that you're told to love your captor.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, and a caged bird doesn't dream of ever flying, right? It's like that kind of concept. They don't,
Yeah.
yeah.
Birds born in a cage think flying is an illness.
That's it. Yeah.
If you like these videos and want to support me in my activism, then you can support me on Patreon or PayPal. Stay free, everyone.